Well, you say that wasn't one of your best games in the last, but the percentages say otherwise, and you guys one bad end essentially. It looked like.
Yeah, I think that we struggled early with the ice conditions. We saw a little bit more curl out there, which is really nice, by the way. It's been pretty straight and fast, and today we saw a little bit more curl, and we also saw the brooms doing a little bit more work, especially on helping rocks curl. So we'll learn from that. We didn't have the greatest first 5, but we had a really strong second half, and I think that as long as we can carry that into tomorrow, we'll be in a good headspace.
There were smiles out there in the late ends because that looked like a lot of fun to play a game like that and under the circumstances against a great team.
Yeah, well, even after we made the shot in 10 to force an extra end, I went back to our bench and I said, is this any fun? Getting the crowd going like that and playing Scotland in a full barn on a Monday afternoon is a pretty spectacular thing. So all good. We'll regroup. We're 3-1. We're still in a great spot. That was only the 4th game of the round robin, and we tried to keep that in perspective out there. Just continue to stay loose, and like I said, the second half of that game was really good, so we'll learn from that.
How close was that shot intent to scoring a possible 3?
It was very close. I don't think you could get any closer. The shot was probably there to stick that shooter back for 3 and get all 3 of theirs going. So anytime you have a shot to win the game is great. You'd hope that it's a little easier than a run triple, but we made the run triple, just couldn't hold the shooter. But that was still an exciting shot, and nice to force an extra end and keep those guys on their toes.
Was that on the board when you were discussing? You said we're going to hope for 3 and at least get 2 when you were going through the plan.
Exactly right. Yeah. Exactly right. Yeah. So giving them a point in 9 was. We've seen lots of 3s out there. We've lost games giving up 3 this season, actually. So we know there's 3s to be had, and we almost had it.
Is that an automatic decision under those circumstances?
Pretty close.
Yeah.
Pretty close. I mean, when you're having to steal against a really great team like that, you look at the statistics and how often that team wins with hammer tied, it's not looking good. And it's still not looking good when you're down 2, but at least when you hold the last rock in your hand and you maybe have a shot for the win, that's a much better feeling.
There's tough games to take, tough losses to take. Smiles on the faces. That was a fun game to play. I know it sucked to lose, but I think you guys take something from that.
Yeah, we hung in there. Yeah, we probably didn't have our best stuff today, but it was a grind, and we battled right to the end. And we had a tough shot there for 3 and 10 that we were pretty close to making, and made him throw his last one in the extra. So it's there's positive, and I think there's a little bit to learn from the game as well.
What did you learn?
I just think how important it is nailing your hit weights out there. We just weren't quite on them today, and it was tough to get the rolls, make them precise. And we had a few draws that on a fresh path they seemed to come up a little bit short, and if that path has been played a little bit, it was a little quicker, a little straighter, and we just kind of maybe had a couple of those misses that we hadn't had the first few games.
How did it feel like for you guys playing in front of that crowd today? Because from the outside, it felt like a different kind of atmosphere that we've seen already this weekend.
Yeah, that was fun. Normally Monday, Tuesday at these championships, there may be a little dip in the crowd after the weekend, and to see a full house in there today was pretty exciting for us. And in the 10th end, we almost hit them all on their feet. So it was, that's always fun, and we look forward to more of that this week.
Obviously a tough loss, but just to put it in perspective, it's one game right out of 12 round robin, right? Just kind of move on to the next sort of thing.
Yeah, they're the number 1 team in the world for a reason. They're great players, and it's tough to go through this week perfect. So not our best game. We know we can play a little bit better, and just learn what we can from that game, and then refocus. We got a couple big ones coming up too.